Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. So in today's session we'll see one more concept in our compiler design, that is three address code for iterative statements and conditional statements. So in our previous session we have seen what is a three address code, and we have seen few examples of different expressions how the three address code will be written. So today we'll see the three address code for iterative statements and conditional statements. Three address code for control structures. So we can call them as a control structures. So here the control structures means conditional and iterations. So I'll write here conditional and iterations. So in both the cases, here we'll be using the two things, that is a conditional jumps and unconditional jumps, because here we are supposed to check the condition, and based upon the result of the condition we need to go to the another steps. So in both the cases we are writing some conditions, so there will be conditional jumps and unconditional jumps. See, we'll see. So example here, we know the conditional statements: if some a less than b, simply we can write sum is equal to sum plus 1. Okay, let us take this simple if statement. So how it can be written, the three address code for this kind of things will be: write down the same thing, if a less than b, then what have to do, go to, and in the false case again go to, and here you need to give some labels. Okay, so go to some label we need to give. So let us take L1 and here L2, and here we'll be writing L1 means, so if it is true, what happens, we need to take sum is equal to sum plus 1. So you can see this is also in a three address code format. If it is not in a three address code format, we need to change it in the three address code format. And then go to L2 means whatever the things we will be writing here, that means else case should be writing here. So this is the three address code for a simple if statement. So let us take a one more. If a less than b, simply write a is equal to a plus 1, else b is equal to b plus 1. So let us take this statement. Okay, so for this the three address code will be: if a less than b, then go to, and else go to. Okay, so here let us take L1. So I'll write L1 as a is equal to a plus 1, and here I'll be writing L2 and C. L2 b is equal to b plus 1, and after a is equal to a plus 1, okay, it should not execute this one because this is a conditional, I mean if else statements. So only the true block or else block will be executed, but not both. In this case, see, if this condition is true, go to L1, that means control comes here and immediately it will execute this one. Okay, so here once again we should write one more go to statement L3 after completion of the thing. So you can now see if the condition is true, it will execute this L1, okay, and go to L3, directly it goes here. If condition is false, go to L2, directly it goes to L2 and followed by L3. So in this way we need to write the three address code for conditional statement. So all these are the simple conditions. Okay, so in our next session we will see the compound conditions, means using the logical operators. Multiple conditions will be compared using the logical operators. Such type of conditions we will see in our next session. But as of now, if any conditional statement is given, the three address code should be writing in this way. Okay, so hope you understood this one, right? Now we will see the iterative statements. For example, let us take some y, a less than b. some a is equal to a plus b. Okay, let's take this one. Okay, and also a is equal to a plus 1. Let us take these statements. Now how can we write this one? So here also the same thing. So when these statements will be get executed, whenever the condition becomes true, these statements will be executed. Whenever the statement becomes false, I mean the condition becomes false, it will go out of the loop. The same thing we have to write here, three address code. So if a less than b, okay, then if it is true, what should be done? These should be executed. So okay, yes, go to, and here I'll write L1. Okay, L1, what is the L1? Here we can write a is equal to a plus b. That means if a is less than b, that means if condition is true, it should execute a is equal to a plus b, as well as a is equal to a plus 1. So after this one, what should be done? So it have to again check the condition, and if the condition is true, again it will enter into the loop. Hope you understood. So in the iterative statements, so the same set of statements will be continuously executed until the condition becomes false. So every time the condition should be checked. So what happens if a less than b? That means if a condition is true, the inner statements, that the statements of the body will be executed, and after completion of this execution, again the control will check the condition. So what have to do? Again go to, see here I'll write L1, and here I'll write L2, and here I'll write L2. So here I'll write L3. So go to L1. So this implies, so whenever this condition is true, it will execute, and again it will go to L1. So this will be repeated. And if the condition becomes false, it goes to L3. So here we can write L3. Here we can write L3. Okay. So the same thing, I mean similarly for while loop, how we have written, in the same way we can write in the for loop also. The same code we can write in for loop for some I is equal to 0 and I less than or equal to, or simply we can write it a, and here we can write it a less than b and a plus plus. Okay, and here we can write a is equal to a plus b and a is equal to a plus 1. So the same thing we can write here also. The same code, the same three address code can be written for this particular for loop also. Okay, so if a greater than b, go to L2. That means it comes here and it will execute all the statements, and immediately it will again go to L1. So this is called a loop. Okay, this is called as a loop. And here you can see this statement, that means condition followed by go to, it can be called as a conditional jump. Conditional jump, because we are jumping towards another location. And see, these cases, go to L3 and go to L2, go to L3 and go to L2, and these are unconditional jumps. Unconditional jumps, because here we are not using any condition, and without depending upon the condition, we are simply moving the control towards another location. So these are called as unconditional jumps. So what I said is, if you are writing the three address code for the control structures, particularly for iterative statements and conditional statements, here we are supposed to use the jumps called conditional jumps and unconditional jumps. So here there is only one problem, that is to identify the address. Okay, L1, L2, L3. So there will be a little bit confusion among these addresses, where to jump. Okay, so for that purpose, there is one more concept called backpatching in our compiler design. So first it will fill all the details except the addresses, and later it will fill the addresses. So that will cover in our further sessions. Okay, so as of now, the three address code means by using this conditional and unconditional jumps, and also we need to follow the rules of a three address code. So any kind of expression should be having at most three variables, and right side of the expression should be having only one operator. So we need to follow the same thing. Okay, for example, if there is an expression like this, instead of a is equal to a plus b, if there is an expression called b into c plus d, so then what we have to do, we need to convert it. So t naught is equal to b into c, and t1 is equal to t naught plus d, and a is equal to t1. So this code should be written in the place of a is equal to a plus b. So like that, we need to follow the three address code rules, and we need to write the three address code with the help of these conditional and unconditional jumps. Okay, so hope you understood this simple concept. So how we can write the three address code for the control structures. So here we are, once again I'm saying, here we have written for only the simple conditions. So in our next session we'll see for the compound conditions. Compound conditions means whenever we are using the logical operators, so multiple simple conditions, comparing the multiple simple conditions. So that concept we call as a short circuit evaluation. So that we'll see in our further sessions. So as of now, I'll close the session. So if you are having any doubts regarding this one, feel free to post your doubts in the comment section. Definitely I will try to clarify all your doubts. And if you really enjoyed the session, like my session, share my session with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.